Because both those theories sound feasible, except for the part with the door. I want to know how the lock on this door works. I need to know how the lock on the door works. Because if the lock on the door is also automatic, then that would make sense. If she was tossed out the window alive, it would be too much struggle, not with the counterweights.
What does that mean?
And then I'm thinking maybe the body was brought back up into the tower, and then pinned to the ground with nails. Because the blood obviously indicates that the nail part took place here. But maybe because the window is automatic, maybe that is evidence of the clock tower itself being automatic. So maybe the floors shift or something like that. I don't know. Danganronpa works in really elaborate, mysterious fucking ways. Why would the culprit try to imitate the Nailman urban legend?
Well,
It's probably like a calling card, or maybe the guy just loves nails. This goes beyond just loving nails. Okay, so the thing that has me the most curious is there's not a lot of evidence in this one room. There's not a lot to go off of. And I doubt this'll be that simple. I don't think this'll be that easy.
what's up?
Why are you staring at a wooden box?
You know,
I thought there might be a clue related to the case. It's covered in dust and there's no evidence it was moved. It's probably not relevant, right? Right, let's look somewhere else. Okay. So before we go any further into this investigation, I want to unlock some skills real quick. So I have 3 SP. I want this. Why can't I have that? I need Endless Summer. What is that? Oh, fuck me. Alright. I thought I had this already. Shit. Okay. Hold on. So, memory cap is 4 out of 9. Let's equip that skill as well, because we can. So we have a lot more memory cap stuff now. So we don't have this yet, I don't think. Yeah, I don't have it unlocked yet. Shit, fuck off. Stop. It's not what I'm trying to do. So we could increase stamina. But it says I have to acquire it, and I don't want to spend any more right now. I don't particularly need that. I have all this stuff equipped. You know what? Wait, what? Why can't I equip that? Is it because I have the more advanced one already? Maybe that's what it is. Okay. That's something, so we might as well equip that. I can't really equip anything else. Okay. So we've already examined the corpse, so we're good there. We've examined the dolls. If the body was tossed out the window, though, why would the water be here?
There are other places to check out, you know.
Why would the water be there? So I think the water coming through the window makes more sense. But I think the strangulation occurring by throwing the body out the window makes more sense. So that's very interesting.
the lock is broken.
The lock is broken. Okay, so if the lock is broken, then it's not a locked room mystery because there's a point of exit. But why would the lock be broken? Maybe we broke the lock when we entered the room, but it didn't seem like we had to force the door open all that much.
They say the door was locked from the inside when the body was discovered.
So when the body was discovered, the lock was... Okay. Well, in that case, somebody would have had to have a key to the clock tower. So is the keyhole for the lock on this side of the door, or is it on the opposite side of the door? So that makes a big difference.
That must mean the Peacekeepers broke the lock to get inside.
Yeah. That's what I was wondering earlier.
So
in
the
regards
inner
to
lock
the
is
lock.
the type where you turn a latch,
Okay.
I don't see any evidence of it being tampered with.
The inner lock is the type where you turn a latch, okay. Latch. Inner door lock. Okay.
There's a keyhole on the outside of the door,
Keyhole
but it's
on the
filled
outside.
up and rusted.
Filled up and rusted. Okay, so the door could not have been locked from the outside. Okay. So the thing that I have running right now is that if the nail part took place and there's blood on the floor to support evidence of that, then the only way out would have been the window. Because if the door is incapable of locking from the outside, and the Amaterasu Corp investigative detective people broke the lock when they barged into the room, forcing the door open, then the only way the killer would have been able to escape the room would have been to climb down the rope. But there's a problem in logic there. Unless, if they threw the body out the window to strangle and then hoisted the body back up, removed the rope from the neck, and then used the rope to descend after pinning her body to the floor, that makes sense. And the time evidence there would allow the water to pool from the open window.
This didn't happen recently.
Because I was thinking
may have
maybe
been
the
like this
killer
way
descended the
before the
rope
incident.
with the body. Right. But then that would have been far too much weight to be supported by 2 dolls. 1 body is believable. 2 bodies, I don't think so. I think that's pushing it. Didn't happen recently. It may have been like this before the incident. Okay, so that doesn't make any difference because the lock would have always been fucked up. But if this lock has always been fucked up and the killer planned to murder her, they must be familiar with the clock tower and the way the clock tower works and the way the window operates. So, maybe the killer left the window open, came back out the door. Yeah, maybe the killer left the window open, set up the rope as an entryway to get in, and then opened the door from the inside because the lock was unfucked on this side, right? Fucked up the lock from the outside, closed the door, and then went back down the same way they came in. That would still support the water in front of the window. But
Hey, why is the keyhole plugged?
They might have figured it was unnecessary. The inner lock is probably left over from when the room needed both locks.
Either way, it doesn't seem like we can open it with a duplicate key or anything.
There's no gap when the door
very
is closed.
curious.
It'd be hard to tamper with it.
Okay.
The only way to unlock this door is
Very
to turn the
interesting.
latch from inside.
From the inside, right. Okay.
That should be enough.
Maybe that's all the investigating I can do.
And that's a wrap!
End investigation. Okay, so we should have everything we need. We should have everything we need. Okay. So we have the dolls pinned to the wall, but these don't matter. I don't understand what significance these hold. So I think the doll pinned to the wall modus operandi is supposed to distract you from these 2 dolls being pinned to here, specifically. So what I'm thinking is that if this lock is fucked up, that the killer must have done it from the other side of the door. So either this lock was defunct from the beginning and they knew that, or they fucked up this lock for this murder to take place. But I'm banking on this lock being fucked up because he said it's rusted.
Looks
So
like
if it's
there's nothing
rusted,
left to check.
that means that this has been this way for a long time. But if that's the case, how was the clock tower accessible? The guy was here to fix the clock tower, but the guy was arrested. So he probably never came into this room to fix it. So if the window is automatic and the window doesn't need fixing, then he was probably here to fix the outside of the door.
Left to check.
Why the hammer and nail? I don't know. Probably just to confuse you. So I'm banking that this fucked up lock has been this way for a while. So the killer must have known that this lock was fucked up and deliberately relied on the interior lock to create the locked room mystery, right? So here's my theory. So if the killer got into this room, right, how would they set up the rope though? How would that make sense? How would that happen? Unless this door was open. If this door was already... Hold on. If this door was never locked, because the guy was coming here to work on the door,
like there's nothing left
that
to
would
check.
make sense. So, let's assume that this door was open, unlocked entirely when the killer showed up. So let's assume that this door was completely unlocked. They came in, locked the door, right? They took the rope, used the rope to wrap around her neck, threw her out the window, and then hoisted her back up, right? And then pinned her to the ground with the nails to fit the motive, or to fit the style of crime, right? And then use these two bodies as an anchor point with the nails pinned in them, because these seem like really robust nails. Those are not your typical kind of nails. Nails of that caliber
Looks
would
like there's
easily
nothing left
support
to
one
check.
person, especially if there's two anchor holes. And then I think they climbed down the rope, but they had to leave the window open in order to do that. And that's what created the puddle on the floor. I think that makes sense. I think that brings it all together. But I might be missing something.
That
But I
should
don't
do it
know.
for the investigation for now.
Don't know if I'm missing anything.
Yeah, I get it.
Maybe we'll
Without a
uncover
doubt,
more.
This murder crime scene is a locked room mystery. It's an impossible
So I think my
crime.
reasoning of suicide, while it seemed feasible at the time, I don't think it's feasible anymore.
The door was locked from the inside.
I think
and
there's
the
too much
window
evidence.
had shutters that were
How'd they
also
leave out the
locked.
window without leaving rope behind on the doll nails? That was my thing earlier. Which is what led me to assume that they used her body as a counterweight. But that wouldn't make sense because the rope is gone. There's no evidence of rope except for being on the nails. And the only reason I could see evidence of the rope being on the nails... Hold on. So, okay. If they threw the body out the window with the rope... If they threw the body out the window with the rope, right? And then hoisted her back up, that would make sense for the residue being left on the nails from the markings for the rope. They could still remove the rope, but there would be no way to lock the door from the inside. There would be some evidence of rope, aside from the rope on the nails. Because in order to pull this off, the killer would have to have been able to completely take the rope away. But there's no rope. There's no rope evidence besides the markings on the nails.
It's a locked room mystery.
What the fuck? How?
Cute.
That doesn't make sense. Unless the door was still open. If the door was still open at the time, the killer could have easily wrapped around and taken the rope from the body. And then turned the lock and closed the door. No, they couldn't, because there would still be evidence of the rope from the nails and needing the rope to get out. What if they descended from the tippy top? Oh, by throwing the rope and wrapping it around the clock hand that Yuma was talking about? That's possible, because then the rope would be entirely on the outside. But if that's the case, then why complicate the process with the dolls? Why create evidence that doesn't need to be there? Like, if you could just throw the rope around the clock hand of the tower and descend from that, that would solve the thing with the rope, but why leave evidence that's unnecessary to be able to get away from the scene of the crime you committed? Once again, I can't help but feel I'm missing a incredibly integral detail that would pull this all together.
What are you doing?
And I don't know what it could be. It's gotta be something to do with the fucking rope. Unless they just hid the rope in the room. Maybe they just hid the rope in the room. Like with the box in the corner, maybe that's possible.
I'm taking in this luscious
But it's
locked
not
room
like the game would
atmosphere.
withhold evidence from you. Danganronpa doesn't work like that. They give you everything to work with.
Anyway, let's leave before the peacekeepers come.
Fuck,
They just
dude.
cause more trouble for us.
I can't help but feel I'm very, very close.
Huh?
Once again, I
Oh,
think
right.
I'm really, really close on this one. But I think there's a crucial detail I'm missing. I think there's a detail I've got to be missing, but I don't know what it is. Because, okay, if you put the rope around her neck and throw her body out the window, right, and then hoist her back up, that would be cool. But how are you getting out of here and locking the door also if the door locks from the inside? If this other lock was not tampered with and it's just been rusted over, if this has just been rusted over the whole time, this was likely not tampered with. Yuma also said this lock was not tampered with, so this was an easy thing to just do. This door was lockable the entire time from the inside, so the escape has to be from the window. The puddle of the water on the floor would be evidence of this window being left open for an extended period. That makes fucking sense. Nailing the body to the floor would also make a decent anchor hold. So maybe the body was nailed first, and then the rope was used around the neck of the victim to descend from the tower. But why would there be markings on the two dolls hanging here? On the nails, holding them up? Fuck, dude, like, this is gonna bother me so much. I'm just gonna leave it be for now. Oh, we
Speaking of
didn't go to
which,
the top
what's
yet!
This ladder over here.
I forgot about the ladder. Maybe this'll solve some fucking theories I have.
Should we take a look?
I forgot about the fucking ladder. Let's go up the ladder.
There doesn't seem to be anything suspicious about it.
I think that
But it
kid
goes
said
up
his
to
dad
another
was here to fix
floor.
the clock.
Said his dad was here to fix the clock, so he wasn't here to fix the door.
Oh, so that's the clock.
Right.
Was he about to head back home after fixing it? Or maybe he was just about to start fixing it.
That's part of what I want to know.
Probably doesn't matter either way. Nothing matters to me besides the locked room mystery.
No, it probably does, because I don't remember what exactly his profile said.
Well, I'll think about it later. Let's leave this place for now.
No, let's go up top and explore and look. Okay. Wait a fucking minute. That actually does make a difference. And the reason it makes a difference is because you could, theoretically, like, bear with me here, just for one more moment. You could lock this door from the inside. Use the rope beforehand, before coming into this room, from that top layer. Put the rope down here. Climb out the window, use the rope, get back, while keeping it a locked room. And take the rope with you. Because if the tie-off is on this second floor, on this other layer, then you could easily take the rope with you. But then why the markings on the nails? So maybe the body being thrown out the window for the strangulation is accurate. But then the body was hoisted back up and then put here. But why isn't the body wet? Wait, didn't Yuma say she was wet? I think he did. Did he? I can't remember now. It's such a small detail, but this is what I mean. When the small details make such a large difference. So if the body is wet, then I think that makes sense. Take the victim, tie the rope around the neck, throw the victim out here, because you could tie the other end of the rope to the dolls before throwing the body out the window, yes? Okay. You could do that, and then you could hoist the body back up, pin the body to the floor with the nails, which is obvious. So I think the nail part happened post-mortem. I think that's safe to say. Because then why the burn mark on the victim? If there was evidence of a struggle, that would indicate that she was alive. So she wasn't killed by the nails, she was killed by the strangulation. Thrown out the window. Right? And then hoisted back up. That would make sense for the water to pool on the floor. The person was still inside to hoist her back up. Shut the door from the inside, closed it, locked it. Ascended the rope that they tied from there and got out. Because if this door was open, they could have done whatever in whatever span of time, right? So there's no, like, finite window of time they would have had. So this is my theory. They came in from this way, right? Did the shit with the body, did the freaky stuff with the body, tossed her off here, right? Using these two dolls as anchor holds. And then they pinned the body to the floor. Like, left the room. And then went up. Descended the rope. Came into the room this way. Locked the door. Or something like that. And then ascended the same rope used to get into the room. And then went back out. Something like that. I don't know exactly the order of things, but we'll figure it out as we go. I think it's something like that. Because, like, let's assume that the door was locked the entire time. They would have needed another way to get into the room. So bringing the rope with and descending from the top layer of the clock tower, they would have been able to get in through the window. But the window would have had to be open. So we know that the window stays open if it's raised all the way. But it shuts and locks if it's left halfway, right? Something like that.
Over here.
So that means that over a certain frame of time or something, probably.
Huh?
They had to
What's
be
the
able to
matter?
commit the entire crime.
What's up? Find a body or
Oh.
something?
Are we gonna get to examine the back of the clock tower? This is also important.
Over here.
Yes, he's gonna show us something.
How far does this go?
He's going to show us something.
Over here. Are you
He's
keeping up
going to
back
show
there?
us something. What is it? What is it?
While
What are you
were
showing me?
checking the clock tower, I took a look
Set up
around
rope
the
from
building.
top first. Hang victim. Nail to floor. Lock door. Escape via window. Back to top. Yeah.
And I found these.
Footprints?
I knew it was going to be footprints. So I think that's evidence of... Because if we look at the angle of the footprints, they're leaving the clock tower. They're not approaching the clock tower to climb the rope. So the escape was definitely made from the window. And if it wasn't made from the window, it was made from the top layer.
Maybe these belong to the culprit.
Also, there isn't anything saying that they could have used two separate ropes. Because they could have used the one rope for the victim, right? And then they could have used another stretch of rope to descend from the clock tower, from the top layer, right?
What? The culprit?
Something like that. Maybe. Possibly. I
I'm
don't
not
think
sure.
so, but
Let's
maybe.
check. There are a set of footprints on
Hey,
the
what's up,
wet
Kai?
ground near the wall.
Hey, guys. We're smack dab in the middle of a mystery. A murder mystery
But it's
in
only
Master
the heel
Detective
portion.
Archive Raincoat.
The only thing I can discern is that they weren't sneakers.
Boots. Boots, possibly.
They could be loafers.
Loafers. So who would wear loafers? Probably the construction guy, if I had to guess.
But the footprints seem strange.
Strange why?
Oh? What's strange about them?
Look, the footprints are facing the wall.
They're facing the wall. Okay.
This looks like whoever made them was walking toward the wall.
Walking toward the wall. Okay, but they could have just descended the rope, and that would have been sensible if the footprints were facing the wall.
You're saying the guy disappeared through the wall? We're dealing with a wall-facing man now?
No, because you could easily just ascend the rope. Hold on. You could either ascend or descend the rope. But they wouldn't be able to walk away from here without creating footprints walking away from the tower. So what if they set up the rope, left the window open, went back down the tower, circled around the back of the tower, and climbed up using the rope, using the dolls as anchor holds? So what if I reverse the logic and I reverse the order? What if he set up the anchor hold with the dolls, came back down around, ascended the rope, then did the nailing, locked the door from the inside, and then climbed the rope from the window up the clock tower to get back down around the locked door? I think I got this bagged.
First the nailman,
I think I got this bagged.
it's a phantom party!
I think I got this bagged.
And the end right under that window.
Yes. Yes.
Is this just a coincidence?
That would make
Or
sense.
does it have something to do with the murder?
Because using the same rope, you could just fasten the rope around the victim's neck, throw them from the tower out the window, and then have a similar stretch of rope that you could have then taken by ascending it and removing it from the upper layer before Yuma got here.
What do you think? Are these the footprints of the real culprit?
Well,
I think it's safe to assume.
to be honest, there's not much I can say with just this.
Loafers, though. And if they used the shoes of the victim to try and confuse the crime scene, then the shoes on the victim would have had mud on them. So there's not much point in that. Kind of think the doll nails were only used to hold the rope for the killing.
At the very least,
I don't know, it's something
I
like
hope I
that.
can
There's
prove the
definitely
footprints
something
aren't
with
his
that,
father's. Hey, what kind
The
of
dolls
shoes
were
does your dad
definitely
usually
used
wear?
as an anchor hold, for absolute sure.
Huh? His shoes? He usually wears sneakers. He was wearing
He
them
usually
today.
wears sneakers. Okay, he said specifically that these were not sneaker prints.
Does
said
he
they
ever
were
wear
loafers.
Sometimes, but not usually.
Not usually.
It would be one thing if he didn't own a single pair of loafers, but I can't rule him out yet.
I don't think his dad is the killer. That would be way too fucking easy.
Still, I wouldn't want to waste the kid's discovery of these footprints.
I'm gonna forget all this shit I've said up till now, by the way. But just so it's evidenced in the recording, you have what
In
my
that
thoughts
case,
are.
I'll remember it for you.
Okay, so we're gonna have to use that to prove his dad's innocence at some point, I think.
So, do you think you can find the real culprit?
How'd they remove the rope after climbing? Easily, you just remove it from where you anchored it. So, theoretically, let's say you were at the top of the clock tower. You fasten the rope around the hand of the clock, right? You circle back down and around and climb the rope to ascend up the tower, right? You'd just remove the rope from the top, and then you'd come down the ladder on the inside of the tower. Oh, from the nails. You could just do it while you're on the rope ascending the tower. You could just do it from the window. If the window was left open, you could easily just remove the evidence of the rope altogether if you're already there. as you're ascending and descending the tower, you see what I mean? Because if you have room to reach in through the window, you can just remove the evidence of the rope being used. You can remove the rope physically, but you can't remove the markings that the rope left on the nails.
Yeah, I think. Maybe. I might need a little more time, though.
I honestly think I got this in the bag. I think my theory is like fucking pin accurate.
Oh,
We'll see
don't
though.
worry.
We'll see how
I'll
much of a
find way.
dumbass I look like when I'm totally wrong. It'll be really funny.
Thank you.
I'm pretty confident in this, but I might be wrong.
I know he's worried about his
And
dad.
I quite possibly am.
If he really is innocent, I want to prove it. While I'm at it,
Forgive my shit
maybe I
manners.
should
That was
ask him
stream
more
Kai.
about
Thank
his
you for
father.
rating me.
Did
Good to
you
see you
notice
all.
anything different about your dad this morning?
My dad went out late last night to work on the clock, so I didn't see him this morning.
He was out
That's
since
fair enough. Your
last
dad is a
night.
fucking working man.
So he stayed the night here?
Stayed the night.
That's his job.
His job is to repair clocks?
Stayed the night in the tower.
He doesn't just repair them, he also sells them. Watches
Then
and
this
wall
murder
clocks
would have
too.
had to have taken place while he was asleep, but how the fuck?
Oh, so he's a watchmaker.
Wait, the Peacekeeper report said his occupation was unknown.
Right.
Maybe
I
it's more
remember that.
convenient for them if they intend to declare him as the culprit of the mailman murders.
Yeah, that would make sense, because I remember them saying that the Peacekeepers do anything to make themselves look good, so altering evidence wouldn't be surprising. And leaving certain things out like they did in the tablet. Because I remember them saying only
He's getting
disclose the
framed as the
information
culprit.
in this tablet to
They
the
made up
media.
their minds and dropped the investigation.
I remember that.
Does your dad also manage this clock tower?
So that's why there's so many unsolved mysteries, is because Amaterasu are lazy asses and they don't do shit.
No, he only checks on that clock once a year. But yesterday, he got an urgent request to fix it. The clock wasn't keeping time, so he was called to repair it.
The clock wasn't keeping time. So if the clock wasn't keeping time, that means that the hands of the clock would not have been moving. So if the hands of the clock were stuck, I think that serves as a fine-fitting anchor hold for ascension and descension from the clock tower.
My dad is usually happy to repair any clock, but he always grumbles about how much he hates the clock
I think
tower.
that makes fucking sense. Probably because ascending and descending the clock tower is fucking dangerous.
He hates it? Why?
Because he's afraid of heights.
That makes sense for the ascension and descension from the fucking window. So if his father is afraid of heights, he can't be the culprit, because he would have had to have not been afraid of heights to pull something like this off.
He's scared of
I
even
knew he was
climbing
gonna
up
say
the
that.
clock tower, but he bites the bullet and does his work without looking outside.
Nice.
A fear of heights.
Okay, so I think that definitely evidences the rope ascension and descension idea. That cements the climbing from top. That's exactly what I'm thinking. And if I'm thinking about this, the face of the clock tower, that thing is a panel. The clock itself is a panel that would open outward. So you could easily anchor hold from there. There's no way you wouldn't be able to. It's vertically directly above where this window sits.
He's afraid of climbing the clock tower and refrains from looking outside, so it sounds serious.
Master, you're improving so much thanks to my training. You're even getting better at pretending to think.
Oh, thanks, Shinigami. I try really hard.
I'm not pretending. I'm serious here.
That makes one of us. I'm too busy being horny for Hollow Nightmare to think about